Hey, Aaron, you guys came in with one of the best third down defenses in the country. They converted their first 5. Was there anything they were doing early that was giving them success, and any adjustments that you guys made up thereafter?
They weren't doing much special early on. Actually, I had a play that I messed up on it. They got around the edge on one of the third downs. And so, no, they weren't doing nothing really spectacular. It was just us really doing our job and giving the back end less time to cover and get some rush up front so they can cover less time. And some of those third downs, we didn't get that opportunity, give those guys that opportunity to make plays because we weren't getting back there fast enough.
Aaron, now just watching your play tonight and your body language, seemed like you were really, I guess, bought into the whole rivalry thing. Can you talk about just your feelings and emotions during the game, and then how you as a player take the way you performed tonight and take that through the rest of the season?
Yeah, usually my energy feeds off from my teammates, guys like Zion, Sim, and all of those guys like that. Usually it's who I feed off of, and I know what this rivalry means to guys that came before me and things like that, so I think that's what I really wanted to play for.
Aaron, right here. Coach Barnett was in here talking to us said part of his message to you guys was about sort of trying to tighten things up, not letting things slide, I guess, that maybe he had been, and, not being more focused, I guess, maybe a little less compassionate. What did you guys take away from that part of what he was telling you? What was sort of the message?
Before the game, you saying?
After the game, no, in terms of not letting things slip, I guess.
We just got to stay together. That's basically what he's saying. He's just saying stay together. And because in situations like this, teams that don't have discipline and don't have people to really, keep guys together, they can fall apart. And I don't think that's the case with us. We just really want to win. And I think we'll eventually take that step to pull these last 5 wins out.
I mean, you guys have talked about, staying together and rallying, and even when Coach was in here, he was talking about he can hear you guys know what needs to change, not to shoot your guys' self in the foot. What gives you confidence that you guys can actually turn this around if it's kind of the same problems that have been persisting? Guys are going to go to class. We're going to do everything right off the field, leading up throughout the whole week, like Coach Barnett harps on us every week. We're going to make sure the guys doing things right off the field, and hopefully that leads to success on the field. Making sure guys aren't missing practice. If it's little nicks and bruises, everybody's going to be at practice. We got to practice harder each week, and we'll get through this.
The last month, Coach Tucker, that news happening, how tough has this past month been for everybody?
I don't think it's as tough as we think. We've been shooting ourselves in the foot, honestly. That may have played a part in what's going on, but we can't put the blame on that. We've got great coaches that were put in place to do what they do, and they're calling things right. We've got to make plays, and that's much on that.
Nathan, right here. I wanted to ask you the changes you guys had to make with getting your plays in from the sidelines. Just how did that affect the offense, and what type of adjustment was that for you guys as a unit?
I wouldn't say it was that big of an adjustment. We practiced huddle and, going off of signals throughout the week. So for us, it was just we knew going into the week that we were going to do huddle a little bit just to slow the game down for us as an offense, try to control the game on that aspect. So I wouldn't say that was a big change for us.
Also, just wanted to ask you for your thoughts on their defense. Statistically, the best one you guys have played so far. Just what made them so effective, and what was that challenge like out there? Yeah,
the very, very good team. They're very strong, especially in their interior. I believe that was the biggest strength of their team is their linemen. So it was our challenge for us to be able to get those holes and to be able to push that pile so we can be able to go out and to move the ball on them. But they were a really good team, and obviously there were times where we executed well, and they succeeded, and then there were times where we didn't execute well and didn't work out. So we have to control what we can control, no matter who they throw out there, to be able to go out and to score touchdowns, which is our job as an offense.
Aaron, can you talk about their tight ends and how difficult they are to cover? They did a lot of damage third down and elsewhere.
I wouldn't necessarily say that they're hard to cover. We just got to have good eyes and zone coverage and things like that we were playing, and make plays when plays come to us. And I wouldn't say they did nothing much special. They're pretty solid schematically wise, and they were able to make plays when they were put in position.
What is it about J.J. McCarthy that makes him so hard to defend against?
Can you say that one more time?
What is it about Michigan's quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, that makes him so hard to defend against?
I think it's their scheme. It's not necessarily him just doing all the work. I think those guys are put in great position to do what they do, and they're capitalizing on those opportunities. That's the difference between top 10 teams and teams on the outside of the top 10 and things like that. They do the little things really well, and when they have mistakes, they fix them immediately. And I think that's what they do really well. They're just really good at executing their game plan.
What would you say was just the vibe in the locker room after a loss like this? I think somebody said it was the biggest margin loss in.
I mean, you can imagine a lot of guys were definitely upset, disappointed. No one wants to have their rival beat them in their own house the way that we lost. It's definitely tough, and we have to be able as men to pick our heads up and to continue to move on and to grow from this. We still have 5 more games left of the season, and we have to go out there and do what we can to win those last 5 games, no matter what team it is. So that's our mindset right now. We're going to continue to push forward and continue to drive so we can finish the season out strong.
So, for both you guys, I was wondering, you already faced one top 10 team in Washington, you get another one today. What were the differences between them, and what made them each, what they are, and is there one you think was better than the other?
They're both really good teams. Washington's a big play team. They take a lot of shots down the field. They got great receivers and things like that, and obviously a really good quarterback. Michigan, they're schematically sound. They do everything right up front. Their quarterback makes checks and things like that pretty nice, and not much of a similarity there. Just 2 different styles of offense, really.
I say as both of those teams, they're very disciplined. You can see that they had little to no penalties between both of those teams against us. They executed well. They did a little things great, and they capitalized on the opportunities that were presented to them. So if we, as a team, want to get to where they are, we have to be able to not have a lot of penalties. We have to be able to be disciplined. We have to be able to capitalize on the little opportunities that we have. So.
Nathan, I know you've played against Michigan before, but playing in this game here, I'm just wondering what your takeaways were of being a part of this rivalry for the first time, and whether it was in the lead up, during the game, after, but just and what did you learn from, I guess, from seeing what it meant to your teammates that have been through it and whatnot?
Yeah, well, first off, I'm blessed. The last time I played this team, I was done for the season. And I'm just grateful that I had the opportunity to play them again and for them to be in this atmosphere on national television. It's a blessing, and I don't want to take that for granted. But like I said, it is a rivalry, and the hatred that we have between each other is real. So I was able to see that firsthand being on the field. And it's just like I said, no one wants to lose the way that we lost, especially to a rival in our house. So we just have to continue to grow from this and finish out the season strong. So.
For Nathan, the whole sign stealing thing, how did the team find out, and what was the reaction?
We didn't really think about that too much. We found out probably how everyone else found out on social media, and like I said, we were practicing the huddle and we were practicing signals throughout the entire practice, so it didn't really change much of what we were going to do going into the game plan. We knew we wanted to slow down and really execute our plays, and that's what the hell it came into part. So it didn't really, I wouldn't say it would affect us too much as far as changing up what we wanted to do offensively.
I'm wondering for both of you guys, over the course of the last month, as guys that are really, I think you're a sophomore, I think you're a senior, but you guys have been through some life. How has this tested your leadership? And how has it maybe developed your leadership at this point that you guys can feel like you can guide the rest of your teammates the next 5 games?
People say once you're done with football, a lot of people like to hire football players due to the fact that they're pretty, stable in what they do. They're pretty consistent in the work that they do. And I think moving forward, like Nate could probably piggyback off of this too. Moving forward, we just want to do everything right, man. We don't necessarily want to do anything different. There's nothing much that we need to change in what we're doing. It's just executing and being more physical. And I think that's what we're going to continue to do.
I think this goes beyond football. I think this is just a principle for life. In life, you're going to face adversity. You're going to be tough times that you're going to have to get through. So you have to be able to not just fall down to the adversity, but to continue to fight. And Coach Reed tells us every single day that he fights, and he was born to fight, and he can't do anything else to fight. He put down the running backs as our mindset. I believe that's just a lifestyle. You have to be willing to fight, because life, when the world throws crap at you, you got to be able to stand up and fight. And where we are right now, we have to continue to fight. We can't lay down. We have, like I said, we have 5 games left this season. We got to continue to finish strong. We're going to continue to go out here and play our butts off, because this may be the last season for a lot of us, and nobody knows what it is. So, how do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered as a guy who quit on the team, the guy who laid down, just let adversity hit them, or you be remembered as someone who fought and finished it through it all? So that's what, as a leader, we have to be able to go out and share with the guys, and for the guys to be able to respond to that.
And I think this is really some of the easiest stuff we'll face in life. Once you're into the real world, as we already know, life is way harder than just football. So I think what we have going on here, if you can't get past this, you'll struggle when this is done. So I think just doing what you can here and I guess practicing for the real world and with the adversity that we're having right now is going to lead to better things after football is done. So I think that's another thing. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.